Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This is the first in a series of workshops that Techies Go Green are organising, and this one is Driving Climate Action Through Carbon Accounting. I'm Francis O'Hare, Sustainable Technologies Ambassador with Techies Go Green, and we're delighted today to be joined as well by OpenCO2net, and we have Sari Sitonen, founder and CEO. We have Anna Kampainen, who is head of professional services, and we have Nura Dainen, apologies for destroying your names, who is software as a services sales manager. And today is going to include an initial presentation and then followed by a Q&A session.
Lovely to see you all there. I'm Noora Tiainen. Today with me from OpenCO2net, I have Sari Siitonen, our CEO, Anna Kemppainen, our head of professional services, and I work in a customer interface. And today I will run you through how to do carbon accounting, how to get started, what are the basics behind it, and so on. Let me share my screen here. So let's begin. The topic of the today is driving climate action through carbon accounting. And to get agenda overview, we are introducing first OpenCO2net, then we deep dive why carbon accounting is important, what it is, how to do it, and to give something very concrete, we are doing live calculation demo. Then we talk about the upgrading path with your climate work and what are the next steps you are able to take and how to take action. Here at the end, we will have Q&A. Feel free to drop questions at any point of the presentation. At the end, we will discuss them. And for the tricky questions, I have Sari and Anna here with me. So just drop anything on your mind, please. So OpenCO2net is a 9-year-old company. We are now running on our 10th year, and we are focused on climate change business. This is our expertise. We offer tools and consulting services related to determining the carbon footprint, reducing emissions, and developing responsible business. This we are doing through providing tools such as OpenCO2net Carbon Footprint Platform, and we will see it better in the demo section. We also provide consulting services such as carbon footprint and handprint calculation, science-based target consulting, development of responsible business concepts, trainings, and strategy workshops. A bit more about OpenCO2net platform. It's browser-based and developed by our experts. The whole base is this extensive emission database, and there is nearly 8,000 validated emissions datasets. There is possibility to add your own emission data. And also we have nowadays this application programming interface called API, and this is available with additional cost. Tools include carbon footprint calculators. They all follow the globally most used standards and protocols. We also have customized calculators, carbon handprint calculators, and emission monitoring and scenarios tools, which are directly following the standards. Some highlights I would like to share with you guys. We have over 2,000 users on our platform, and tools are developed in collaboration between OpenCO2net's carbon accounting experts and our own Finnish development team. And this ensures the nice user experience, which is actually thinking about the calculation process and the results and making the impact. The They are based on most used and reliable standards, and this means Greenhouse Gas Protocol, ESRS, E1, and VSME, of course, ISO 14067. And as mentioned, there is wide range of emission datasets, and this is something we are always building up according our customers' wishes. Something to mention, DNV has validated our calculation methods and data collection process, and DNV is Norwegian accrediting organization, so you might be familiar with it if you work with quality or anything like that. So, and then there is possibility to have this API interface solution to your own system, something like Power BI, ERPs, even as an Excel add-in, if you have the calculations in that way at the moment. To give you some idea of the companies we work with, there is many companies from the energy industry. These are like big operators in Finland, for example. Then global groups such as EMI Group, Technopolis, ESS services. Then there is plenty of companies from the health industry, like Finnish Health Hospital, Ceres, Kalena Pharma, so on. Also plenty of companies from manufacturing industry, textile industry, also IT industry or ICT. Yes. Okay, the main topic itself. Why carbon accounting? Let's determine the concept first. So the most important term here is carbon footprint. And to get all of us to the same page, I'm running us through it. So carbon footprint describes the climate burden caused by a given entity. And there is an example of beef steaks to give you an idea. So the climate impact is caused by greenhouse gas emissions such as carbon dioxide, CO2, methane, nitrous oxide being released into the atmosphere. And it's typically expressed in terms of carbon dioxide equivalents, which take the different effects of greenhouse gases on global warming into account, based on key WP factors. So it's very scientific based. It takes the whole life cycle from cradle to grave into account, and also the carbon footprints express the mass of emissions either in tons or kilograms. So here you can see that like a beef steak for 150 grams with 150 grams weight causes 2.2 kilograms of carbon footprint. And we also have this kind of converter, which you can feel free to try. Perhaps Anna or Sari can drop the link in the chat where you can convert different kind of products. And why is this carbon accounting important for SMEs? So let's start with the regulatory compliance. So you all probably are familiar with multiple regulation changes we are living at the moment. There is these called CSRD, VSME, green claims, and when you are doing carbon accounting, you are actually keeping up with the regulatory, and this way you can also know when for the SMEs it's not so compulsory in a way, you can gain competitive advantage there, and I think it's actually coming in the following ones, how you can do that even in more details. But so carbon accounting also builds up transparency and credibility for your company, as when you're claiming something is climate friendly or produces less carbon emissions, you can base it for the calculations and show it out. Also, carbon accounting means cost savings and efficiency, as it identifies energy and material inefficiencies. And this means you can reduce cost and improve resource use. As a fourth dimension, I would like to mention strategic growth opportunities. So when you are integrating carbon accounting into your strategy and the climate work in overall, it turns sustainability into a growth opportunity, which allows you get green fundings, which are actually, their cost is actually aligned with your success with climate actions. You also can create new innovations to help others reduce their carbon footprint. And this is going to be and is already a very great competitive edge. And if you wish to hear even more concrete examples, let's say about like proposal situations where businesses are like the provider is chosen based also the data they are able to provide about their carbon footprint, just drop a question, we will open up them gladly. So what kind of emissions are included in the calculations? Here you can see the direct ones, which is referred as a scope 1, and scope 2 is indirect ones, such as purchased electricity. Scope 3 is also indirect ones, but this is a wider perspective for your supply chain. And most of the companies that are actually manufacturing something or like selling product services are having the most possibility for the climate impact in scope 3. But the scope 1 and 2 are the great start and easier one to get idea of your carbon footprint of the carbon emissions closest to your own actions. To give you an idea what kind of steps are included to calculating emissions, there is goal setting, and it's very important part, as there you define whether you are calculating organizational carbon footprint or the product service. How do you define what you are actually calculating? Then from here, we are focusing on emission calculations, and this is where I'm showing you the concrete demo example. And if you actually have already created your user account and we have activated it, as for some we have, you are able to join us in the demo part. And we will also guide you later, like there's a link where you can use a user account, and when you're a Techies Go Green member, you will have access for that. For the calculations, you also need to do some data collection, and then there is possibility to report the like the outcome, and also it's like continuing improvement process. So then you are able to set reduction targets and so on. And this is very important because calculations are done so you can actually do that data-driven climate actions. Some details about greenhouse gas emissions inventory. The calculations can be performed using the organization calculator of our platform at OpenCO2net. And this is based on greenhouse gas protocol as it should. So it's the standard that follows also CSRD. And so when you do your calculations through it, it aligns with CSRD, even though it wouldn't touch you now, but it will touch your customers. So, and other guidelines you may use during the scope 1 to 3 calculations are mentioned here. Yes. Let's go to the practical demonstration and the benefits of doing calculations. I have to change my view here for a moment, but hang on with me. So I think like at this point also, if Sari or Anna wishes, you can share the link where you are able to actually sign in. I wonder whether I was able to share the screen. Now I think you see it. And this is our website, OpenCO2net. Here you could log in, and because I have already logged in, it wouldn't show me this otherwise, so I'm showing it this way. So
I know that it's not visible yet.
Okay.
You need to share that.
Thank you for letting me know.
That's great. Thank you.
What about now?
Yes, we can see that now.
Thank you. Perfect. I'm used to Teams, but today we are in Zoom, so learning new things here also. Thanks for the support. So here you are able to log in, but I have already signed in, so I wouldn't see it otherwise. But when you go there, you get the sign-in website, and when you're a Techies Go Green member, you will have the base we are actually running through today. So I have signed in, and when we activate your user here at the OpenCO2net, you will have the base called Techies Go Green, Scope 1 and 2 calculator template.
Sorry, Nora, could I ask you just one thing? Can you
Yes.
show where in the drop-down to get to this part of the calculator in the website? So at the top in terms of tools?
So yes, definitely, good point. So when you have signed in, you are able to go here to the tools part, and here you get, so let's say I would be on the website, rolling around, then I choose the standard-based CO2 calculators part here and get in. Thank you for the clarification.
No problem.
Yeah. So, and then when we have activated the template for you, don't delete it, but copy it. So you just copy it. You can update the recent emission factors at the same time if you're choosing to do 25 calculations, and then creating the copy here. Then let's dive to the template and to the calculations. So as you see, we are having Scope 1, 2 available for you here. You are also able to get access for the Scope 3 with a special offer from us. And when you're ready, just feel free to contact us. There is a guidance for that too. But as you see, now we have one number here, but actually I think it's here already. But I'm just at this point taking this out and going to the summary. So you should see a blank template without any numbers, and this is how it is. I have been training for you, so I had something left there. It will create visuals and so on, but we first have to create the calculations. And the template is for your support there. And here we could name it. You can add your company name or like a part of it or the location-based name and so on. Here at Scope 1, according to Greenhouse Gas Protocol, you have fuel consumption of your energy production here, owned recycles, and greenhouse gases. And we have created a template to support your work. And this is Ireland and UK based here. Most of you won't have your own energy production. If you are electricity company, you will have a district heat company, you will have, or you have this kind of producement you will have this part, but most of you won't have that, for example, if you're a manufacturing company. So here we are leaving this empty. There would be supporting template if you have this part, but as in this is like a typical scenario we are running through here, you won't have that part. So here at the owned recycles, it actually goes in a way that you are figuring out your fuel consumption. And let's take an example that we are an Irish company. And here our experts have chosen emission factors for you that are right for your use. So you don't have to screen the whole emission database through. Let's say our company have 3 petrol cars, 1 road diesel car, and we have figured out the data. Let's say we are doing the calculations once a year or twice a year, and we have got them then out from our, let's say, Power BI, and then we are able to add the liters here. So our 3 petrol cars would use perhaps 3,000 liters per year. You can also change the unit here. Calculator is summing them up for you. For the diesel, let's say we are using that, we have this like 1 diesel car, we are using it a bit more. We would have like a 1,000 liter consumption per year. And these all are added in to the calculations. We wouldn't have in this scenario diesel cars or residual oil fuel consumption. So we are able to leave them blank here or just delete them. I will leave them blank. So if in the future we would have one, I don't have to look for them. And let's say we don't have functions in UK at the moment, but we could be able to also, if your company works there, there is like template for that too. And if like, because the last option here is to use actually the type of car. This is not recommended option, but we do have the cars here. And let's say you would have a car you want to find here. We have limited the emission factors down to this 800 here in this section, even though we have this wider database. But this way it's easier for you to find the emission factor you actually need. So we could specify here. And now when we are doing an example of UK, I'm going here and like choosing United Kingdom for us. Well, we are having also fuel now chosen, but we would like to see what kind of cars we have available here. You will have plenty of options to choose from here. If you wouldn't find what you are looking for, you are also able to add the emission factors. I will show it soon, but first I will show that this is not black box calculations, but you will have the background info for all the emission factors. And here you can see the country, the emission factor category, emission type, emission factor, what is the life cycle stages included, what is the year updated, year published. Don't use data older than 3 years old. There has been a great inflations and improvements in different sections, so this is not good data anymore. If they are EPDs, perhaps they are then because they are valid for a longer time period. These are important details there. Source, of course, and for your help, we have started this quality work to emphasize which emission factors are better in choice. But luckily, you have this template, so they have been chosen for you already. But if I would like to add, let's say, this medium-sized car, it's just clicking here, very intuitive, adding the kilometers you're driving with the car, let's say 30,000 kilometers per year. Or you could add on a bigger number here. Let's say you would have 10 cars, you could add that as a total sum. Or if you would have primary data, which is the best possible data with the emission factors, the spend-based is the worst one. We are trying to avoid it, but you have to have it somewhere also in scope 3. And there in between are physical activity-based emission factors. So here you could also add the primary data. If you trust the emission factor you get from your supplier, you can add it here. It's only for your eyes and for you to trust. We also have primary data here, and we are happy to bring it if you just let us know and update it to the emission database. This is how we have also grown our database. Yes. Now there was also the functions at the same time, but the last part here would be the greenhouse gases. And there is a list of them. Let's say we only have to add here the methane. So I'm adding it based on the measures and definitions we have done for the calculations, and now it's added for the calculations. And the scope 2. So the scope 2 is divided in a way that it's all about the energy use per case, district heating, electricity, but it's divided to market-based and location-based. And the market-based is what you are actually buying. So you might buy renewables and you might have certificate that's great. You will add it here in a market-based section. Then for the location-based, you actually have to put the emission factor and the estimation you are getting from the electricity grid, let's say. So here you can impact the emissions by what you are buying, but here how much you're using. Let's see. And for our scenario, I'm choosing that we are using renewables. I'm just putting some number out here. You could, for example, pick this up from the bill or collection of bills to get the data here. Once again, you are able to change the unit here. During the usage period, renewables are seen as they don't produce carbon footprint, and this is why it stays 0 here. To take an example here on the location-based part, where we are actually we are getting like a production mix of electricity from our grid, we are creating a bigger number of carbon footprint for this section. So if I'm adding the same number, let's see what I put it in there, just to give an idea. It's actually generating emissions. So this is like some methods and following the standards how the calculations are done, and this is why it's in a way. Yeah, this is an example of scenario for a typical Irish SME company. And for the scope 1 and 2, at the end, now we have added all the numbers there. It's quite easy with the template. You're have a very easy beginning here for your climate work. So then we have the summary, and we will also want to see the location-based summary. there is everything you need for your reporting, also visualizations for communicating. Always communicate your results for your employees and your stakeholders to make your work visible. And there is also how, in this scenario, your emissions would be divided. So, any questions about calculations? Perhaps you're doing one already, just drop a question and we're happy to answer it. So, this is all about it. You can also get it out in Excel export or PDF print, and if you would like to validate it, get it to the validator. Yes, and the scope 3 path is very easy. So when you have started using OpenCO2net platform, we are just able to upscale and add scope 3 for your availability, and you can start doing scope 3 calculations. I'm getting back to my presentation here and ready to give me a shout out that you see the screen is all good.
Yep.
Yes, we see
that's
that
visible
now.
again.
Thank you. Perfect. So this was the demonstration. I hope it was simple as it is used as a calculator, and with the template you have like a great benefit here starting out, gaining the competitive edge while doing your climate work. All right, let's move forward. About the upgrading path, I also already mentioned it slightly, and about taking your next steps. So we would now think that you are able to do scope 1 and 2 emission calculations. And if you are at that point of your journey, and as a Techies Go Green member, you are just able to create a user account. We are adding the template and activating the user for you. And there is actually a guidelines for you, even in PDF format. So, and you are always to reach us. We are happy to answer your questions and help you forward. But after you have created your scope 2 emission calculations, then the exciting part starts, because scope 3 emission calculations are where most of you have the greatest impact, as the value chain is producing the greatest part of the emissions and carbon footprint. So then you are able to continue with scope 3 emission calculations. You have tools with us, OpenCO2net, easy to upgrade to that. And also you have this offer to continue with the scope 3 tool also. After that, when you have done the organizational calculations, it's easy to continue doing your product calculations and services, because you have done the background work, found the data. We are also happy to help with that and give some guidance, where to collect it, what is the right, how to get it from your suppliers, and so on. And this is, for example, we have this like a packaging company that we just did the process in a way, because it's like the smartest way to process. And climate work is not only about doing the calculations, it's actually taking the action itself. So many of the companies create climate strategy, transition plan. You can set emission reduction targets, such as science-based target, which is well-known globally way to set targets and actually give yourself out that, yes, I'm doing my part, I'm doing the climate work, but I'm also helping my customers and bringing the value through that. And always remember to communicate the results. For example, via dashboard. Yes. That's that, and we are ready for the Q&A. Yes.
As if you could,
Right.
could you end your sharing there, Nora, please?
Yes, I can, of course.
That's
Thank you so much, Nora.
perfect.
It was really, really
Thank you.
interesting. And again, I invite, everyone to, again, please get your questions in now. This is the bit where you get everything clarified and get your chance to see how this fits into your own organization. We do have a first question here from Dylan, and it is regarding Scope 3, are the emission factors in the database activity-based or cost-based? If someone would like to take that.
That's an important question, and thank you, Dylan, for that. So we focus on activity-based emission factors, and most of the emission database consists of these. For the spend-based emission factors, there certainly are them also. So let's say for the cleaning or insurances, they are a bit more abstract services, products, but most of the companies have them. It's not so easy to get this kind of activity-based data. So this is the reason there is also spend-based data, but always when you have the possibility, use the activity-based because it's so much more detailed. I could give an example of the iPhone. You buy iPhone 17 today, it's 1,300 euros or pounds, but next year is 1,000 euros. Nothing changed in the manufacturing process, but the euros changed. So you can perhaps see how this is like, even same with the diesel or petrol, the price changes are like happening in daily basis. So the activity-based is more accurate. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So we have one here, and that is, how do I select the right emissions factors?
Thank you for the question. Would Sari or Anna like to take it?
Yeah, so first, if you have that primary data from your supplier, that is the best data you can use. And if you don't have that, then you should select physical average data. And as Nora mentioned, so we have that data from the UK and Ireland. So it's good to select emission factors from the certain geographical area. And of course, the newest possible emission factors. So new data is always better than the old one. And also Nora mentioned that spend-based emission factors are the last option, but sometimes you don't have anything other data. You have euros or pounds you can use in your calculation. So then you can use also those spend-based emission factors. Now in our Scope 3 calculator, we also have inflation correction option. So for example, in the UK, that spend-based data is from the year 2022. And you know that there have been some changes in economy, and then we need to take that inflation into account.
I sent a couple of links to the chat from our blogs, so you can read them after this webinar.
You've added something in the chat there, which is a link to a blog that you've done on this, so that's great.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Anna. And a few other useful links in there as well through the session already. A quick question, actually, from my own point of view. There's obviously a wealth of variety there in the amount of emission factors that are already in the system. Can that be filtered down for a particular industry or geography so you're not seeing everything?
Yes, good question, Francis. Thank you very much. I can actually still share my screen, and so Such as here in the calculator, you are able to like, let's just scroll down, add an emission factor, limit it down to the full car, such as we run in the example. So you can specify more with the country, UK, Ireland, or if you have any other European countries, because like we are also one of the widest emission databases in EU, so you will probably find it here. Units, year, anything according to year. So, and like also, there is like the whole emission database for scope 1, 2 calculator. You will see 2,700 emission factors, and this is perfectly what you need for your needs there. But there you can also limit it down to make it easier to find right emission factors.
Oh, very good. So if you're inside a certain industry within a certain region, you're not seeing everything that's not relevant to you.
Yes.
Very good. Great, thank you. We have a question here, and that is it possible to set SBTI only with scope 1 and 2 calculations? I'm not too sure if you covered it already.
Oh, thanks for the question. Would you, Anna, like to take it, or sorry for a change?
Yeah, if you are small or medium size, it's possible for set the science-based target only for scope 1 and 2. But at the same time, when you are setting targets, you commit to calculate and also reduce scope 3 emissions, even you don't set the targets for that. So that's good to remember when you are setting targets.
Yeah, so small and medium-sized companies can set that short-term or near-term target based on scope 1 and 2 calculation. And this is the first step that gives you an option for that. And then you can upgrade to scope 3 calculator and do that calculation next year for that scope 3. And if you like to set also net zero target, then you need to calculate that scope 3.
Right, thank you. And again, a question here. Is there anything to facilitate, say, employees entering, say, travel data or consumption data so that it gets into the system, a mobile app or anything like that? Is it outside of the scope of what you guys do?
Would you like me to take question, or would you, Sari, or Anna, go?
Sorry, yes. I think what it's related to is, in other words, when someone logs in on the platform, can you have people log in individually, put their information in, or is it one central person that should input the information?
Yeah, that's an important question. Yeah, I can answer. So, with this, when you're creating a user, you can use a general email address, let's say, and if you wish, you can share that with other people in your company, which you like to trust with the carbon accounting. So yes, you can do that, but there can only be one person signed in at a time. There is options to get multiple user accounts activated at the same time, and you can do them in a line. That's a different kind of deal. You can ask about it if you wish.
Okay, so in essence, then what you're saying is that in this free version, you can have one account, but people can use it at different times to put in their own information into it. And then there's the option to upgrade to an option where you can have multiple accounts for one company, and then people can all input the information whenever they want to into that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, thank you. So we have a question here. What happens at the end of the 12-month free version?
That's a great question. So, do you wish me to go?
Yep.
Oh, no, sorry.
Yeah, whoever would like to jump on it and take it.
I have been
please,
talking so
Nora.
much, so want to give a chance for somebody else also. But I can go. So, after 12 months, you are, and a bit before, you are able to take your calculations out in an Excel or PDF format, or you can upgrade and as we success to continue your climate work. So you can stay with us, start the subscription, upgrade your climate work, take it further. But if you decide to stop doing the calculations, we will storage your calculations for small time slot. I think it's 6 months, and after that we will delete them. And if you wish to delete them earlier, we of course will do that also. Yeah.
Okay, so it's really then you'll be given a little bit of notification in advance of the expiry of the time, and then you can move over to a paid plan after that, after the 12 months. But your data stays there, and you're literally just continuing seamlessly with the calculator from where it is now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, that's very useful. Thank you. So a question here, is there guidance for the Scope 1 and 2 emissions calculator process?
There is a very compact guidance for you, everything you need to know to use the template and walk through your Scope 1, 2 carbon footprint calculations. Also, there is like all the information you need, like where you create a user account, who you contact to actually get user activated with the template. Here is a picture of the sign-in page, and also if you like, you can add Anna as a CC, so she will activate the user there, or one of our employees. So yes, the guidance is available.
Yeah, so, but I think as well, just as a continuation of that, have you any handy guides for people to get started to understand Scopes 1 and 2 in principle?
Here, let's see if the panel is just over it, but like we have these blogs, customer services, customer stories, I mean, and there is plenty of information written by our experts. Let's see, for example, Scope 1, 2, 3 emissions accounting and how to get started, how to move forward. This is something like 3 minutes read, very well, topics are clear, so you will find what you're searching for, and all the terms explained and so on. So here you can find more information, and if you can't find something, just please contact us and we will help you.
We have a question here now. I think you may have covered it a little bit in the presentation, but maybe this is an opportunity to deep dive on it a little bit more. So once I have completed the Scope 1 and 2 calculations, can I easily proceed to the Scope 3 calculation?
Yeah, so I can also say that I added the link to GHG Protocol standards in the chat.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
So as Nora mentioned, you can find a lot of information from our website, but we suggest always to use those standards. So there are corporate standards that you can use, and also the Scope 2 guidance. So there you will find a lot of examples. And it's nice that those greenhouse gas protocol standards are available free of charge. So you can load those for yourself in that link. Yeah, but if you think about that path from Scope 1 and 2 to Scope 3, so the Scope 1 and 2 calculation is the first step. And after that, of course, you understand what is your own operation or what are those operations. And after that, you can start to contact your value chain, try to find out your supply chain and get information related to the purchased goods and services, transportation, and so on. And in our system, you can upgrade your subscription to that kind of package that you can calculate also the Scope 3 emissions. So we are happy to help. And if you start to do that, we will have 1.5 hour training session for Scope 3 calculation when you purchase that subscription.
Okay, so can data be edited in bulk, say within a spreadsheet and then imported? I think this is maybe if you're editing lots of emission factors at a time, maybe it's easier to do it in a spreadsheet and not in a form. Is that possible to just import?
Yeah, in Scope 3 calculator, we have that kind of option in internal use at the moment. And
Okay.
many of our customers have asked that way to do calculation. Yeah. So, and we will do that during this year sometime, but now it's in test version at the moment.
So again, I'd like to thank Nora, Sari, and Anna for attending. That's great to have you here. And do please remember that if you have any questions, more technical questions on the use of the platform, do reach out to OpenCO2net. They'll be happy to answer.
Yeah. Thanks a lot and have a nice day.
Thank you
Great.
all.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you very much. Bye for now.
Bye.